Good morning, everyone. Well, welcome to Res Radio. This is a reporter's notebook, and this is a series of stories we'll be telling to people on this page. And the first one I'm going to talk about is a gentleman by the name of William Francis Bacon, who was the Shoshone-Bannock tribe's attorney and a very good friend of mine since childhood. Well, working in the media as a news reporter was one of the best job experiences for a young man starting his career. A little bit background about me. I'm Dave Archuleta. I hosted National Native News. I also worked for Chauvin News for 5 years, KKLB Radio for 5 years, and Kissin Radio for 3 years during my high school time. Also, I went on to serve as a tribal judge for 12 years. So, anyway, that's a quick introduction to myself. And of course, welcome to Res Radio Fort Hall. And working in the media as a young reporter is one of the best job experiences I ever had. The people I was associated with were all in around the same age group. We're 20-somethings. And I was 22 when I started at KKLB Radio. Now, I was honored to work for some great people along the way. However, when I went to Bailey School of Broadcast, I was told something that always stuck with me. Be good to the people on your way up, because you need those people on the way down. So I always believed in that, and I always tried to work with the people that I work with and treat them with dignity and respect. Well, the other day, one of my best friends from my childhood died in a vehicle accident. I was and am devastated. Bill Bacon was described by someone we both went to high school with as a jock who was friends with everyone. Bill never bullied anyone, she said. Well, Bill, my friends, and my family were definitely children of the 70's. Bill went to Franklin Junior High School and Pocatello High School, which is where I met him. Now, I was the new kid who came home from Los Angeles. It was awkward in those days, to say the least, to be the new kid in town. We were there for, my mother went to art school in Los Angeles, and so when we came home, I was the new kid in town. That was very awkward, to say the least, to be the new kid in town. Well, Bill was one of those people who welcomed me home. I would walk to and from my house on Bridger Street to Franklin Junior High, which is several miles. I could have rode the bus every day, but I liked to walk. I had several stops along the way, including Bannock Memorial Hospital, where I'd actually get something to eat. Now, Bill's house was on 15th Avenue, and it was the talk of the town, school, because all of us kids. His house had this big picture window, and inside that picture window was a polar bear. And so, and Bill was the son of Dr. Bacon, and Dr. Bacon was one of those people that went on safaris. So not only did he have a polar bear inside of his picture window, but in their basement they had grizzly bears and all sorts of other stuffed animals that Dr. Bacon had harvested. Well, I can say this: Bill was not a self-centered jock, as other jocks of the day were. He was a person who treated all he knew as a friend. We all went to Pocatello High School together, the home of the Pocatello Indians. Now, that was at the end of 1970. We started at Pokey, and we entered Pokey, and we graduated in May of 1974, the class of 1974. And yes, we really were teens of the 70's. I laugh at those little stories I see on Facebook about kids growing up in the 70's, because that really was us. Now, we all ran in different social groups. There was the socias, who were like the preppies today, the jocks, the poor kids, the rich kids, the cool kids, and the stoners. Now, those distinctions ruled who you ran with. However, my group of family and friends, we didn't care. we got along with everyone, and so Bill ended up fitting in with our group. And of course, his other groups, including the Jocks. But anyway, our friends went to concerts at ISU Mini Dome, and we had kegers in the mountains. Well, I really didn't get a chance to go to many kegers because I was a working kid working at a radio station as a radio DJ on Kissin' Radio. Basically, I was playing the music on the radio that they were partying to. Now, in the 70s, we had live music concerts, including the Eagles, Fleetwood Mac, Firefall, Moody Blues, Grand Funk Railroad, just to name a few. And now, while the concerts were legendary, so were the ongoing parties during the concert. Now remember, we were high school kids and junior high school kids that went to the concert without supervision. Now, that's not anything to be worried about, right? Yeah. So things were so wild at the concerts, you just had to wait for what you wanted to come along. If you wanted to drink alcohol, well, it would come by and you just have to take a shot and then pass it on. If you wanted to smoke pot, it would come by, and if you wanted, you could take it. If not, pass it by. You get the picture. It continued that way until, the partying at the concerts until over the years, this kid ended up falling over the railing, and that sort of got the concert shut down at ISU, which is sad. Well, anyway, after high school, Bill went on to college and then to law school, where he became an attorney. He was elected as Bannock County prosecutor and later became an attorney for the Shoshone-Bannock tribes. Now, when Bill was elected as Bannock County prosecutor, I was working as news director for KKLB Radio. My peers included Jake Putnam, Michael Finney, and several others. We used to have morning press conferences with the Pocatello Police, and during that time, I remember some of the lady journalists commenting on Bill Bacon getting married and how his wife dressed him properly for the job and made him look real sharp. Well, Bill successfully represented the tribes in several cases, and I won't go into detail of those cases since some are ongoing. He is also appointed as a tribal judge and served both roles as needed. We had many discussions depending on the issue of the day, and sometimes we agreed, other times we disagreed. But that's okay, because our discussions never affected our friendship. Bill was a great listener, and when I needed advice when I sat on the bench, I would seek his advice on case law and what to research so I could write a better decision. Now, Bill, this is a direct quote now from my friend Jake Putnam, because we're talking about Bill, and I asked him to comment on the story, so this was his comment. Bill was deceptive, although a talented athlete who would play frosh football at Idaho State University, he had a rigorous intellect, and the major cases he won for the tribes were clever and studied. He worked hard. I agree with you, Jake. He did work hard. Always working hard. I wanted to tell Bill's story today because I wanted to say it in a good way and share our experiences growing up as free-range teens in the 70s, because it helped shape who we became as adults and now elders. To Lisa, his wife, and his 3 daughters, please accept my condolences. Join us next week on Res Radio, and again, we'll have another story on Res Radio YouTube, Res Radio Fort Hall YouTube, that is, and we'll share another story. And this is all going to be part of Reporter's Notebook. Again, it'll be stories that we talk about different people and different experiences. Res Radio's out. Have a